Welcome back to the channel. For the newbies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I'm going to give you so many gems and tips and recommendations in this video. So, don't do's in Montenegro. Guys, Montenegro is an absolutely beautiful country and it's a must visit. I just went for the first time and boy, was it a fantastic experience. An eye-opening experience, but fantastic experience nevertheless. And would I go back? 100% going back. But I know what I know now is what I'm about to give you, and it's going to help you massively. Trust me. So don't do's in Montenegro. Firstly, if you're flying, so if you're coming from London, let's say London, Europe. Let's say London, right? Because obviously Montenegro's in Europe, right? Let's say you're coming from London. So now you're looking at flights, and you're looking, okay, I got direct flight. You obviously want a direct flight. I mean, what's the point of having a stopover or change? So you go, I can fly into Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik's right, which is Dubrovnik, Croatia is right next to Montenegro. Easy drive, perfect. I'll do that. Guys, do not do that. I did that. What if you're going to Montenegro? 100% pay more money, right? It's tough because peak times everything spikes. I mean, crazy spike. But fly into the capital, Puerto Rico, or fly into Pivot. Pivot's a small airport, so it's a limited amount of flights. So again, too, flight times and schedule might not line up to your holiday. That's what happened to me. As far as the days wise, things just didn't line up. And flying into Montenegro was super expensive. So I said, I'm just gonna fly into Dubrovnik, rent a car, and just drive in. Easy. No, it wasn't easy. Matter of fact, it's something I'll never do again. Renting a car in Dubrovnik, picking up from the airport, easy, piss easy. The easiest thing you could do. The problem is, you're going from Croatia into Montenegro, which are two different countries. Now, you're like, well, that's in Europe, right? Yeah. But I drive from country to country, Europe, easy. Exactly. I've done that too because I've lived throughout Europe. But this is different. Because remember, with the past history, Yugoslavia and all that, blah, blah, blah. So there is some serious customs in between countries. And I'm talking about serious. I'm talking about, it's like an airport customs. It's like you're actually in the airport, but you're in a car. So I get my car, pick my car, put it in the nav, because I'm going from, I decided to start on the far end, which is Budva. So I'm going to base myself in Budva for a couple of days, then pivot, then Kotar. So I enter it, I get in my car, we pick up a car, enter it in the stat nav. It says 1 hour and 40 minutes. I said, shit, that's easy, right? Get up, pick up some snacks, get in the car, boom, I'm on the road. Now, on the road, it's not highways or motorways. It's like literally one lane roads, right? In between mountains. There's no motorways. There's no dual carriageways, right? So one bear that in mind. So if you're a new driver, you just passed your test, you got a driver license, this probably is not for you. You probably should not rent a car there. That's one. Two, it's not going to be 1 hour and 40 minutes. In fact, I landed about 1:30, picked up my car. Took me quite a bit to pick up my car because there was an idiot in front of me taking forever with his book, whatever. Anyway, but by the time I picked my car and to drive to Budva, it literally took me 3.5 hours. Actually, 4 hours. I'm not making this up. 4 hours. So driving from Dubrovnik into Montenegro is actually not far. It's probably like 40 minutes. But that 40 minutes can take you within 2 to 4 hours because of customs. And customs is 2 lanes, right? So you think about 2 lanes. One going this way, going the opposite direction. This one lane, right, of all cars, trucks, and buses go into 2 lanes. Now, one lane's for cars and the other lane's for buses and trucks from one road. So I'm talking about traffic is backed up for miles. I'm talking about I'm sitting in my car for 2 hours without the car even moving forward. People are coming out the cars having picnics, just chilling, smoking, drinking. I'm talking about it's long. I couldn't believe it. It took forever to get into Montenegro. Once you get to the Montenegro, it's a breeze. It's actually not bad. The only time you're gonna get traffic is in between towns because it's like 30 to 20 to 40 miles an hour, so you have to slow down, drive through towns. Obviously there's traffic, right? Again too, I went to Montenegro in July, and this is peak time. So I'm going to talk about times to visit. Also, this is peak time. So not in peak time, off peak times is going to be. I hope the experience is going to be a lot better, but it could go from 4 hours to 2 hours. So it's still going to take you a while. So I'll again recommend flying into Montenegro itself. Times not to visit. I mean, you could visit if you want. Like me, you're still gonna have an amazing time, but I would completely suggest different times. Now, times not to visit is June to August. Why? It's packed. It's packed. You rent a car, you want to explore different parts of Montenegro, amazing, like I did. You're gonna be in traffic in the entire day. The only time you're probably not gonna be traffic is probably like 10 to like 4 in the morning. After that, it's gonna be traffic. Everything is spiked. Everything is spiked. I mean, spiked as in prices. All the prices are spiked. I mean, do not think Montenegro is a cheap country. Montenegro might be a cheap country outside of peak times. I don't know. I went in July. I don't know. I just went recently. So, July. So, yeah, it's peak. But what I experienced is jacked up prices, double prices, everything very expensive, more expensive than your Greece, or maybe close to like your Mykonos prices, Ibiza prices. I'm talking about very known places in Europe, that type prices, which is crazy to me because I've been here in Montenegro as a cheap destination, it's a great destination, value for money. I personally think it's a very expensive destination if you're traveling between June to August. Now, if you travel April to May, off peak. If you travel September, off peak. Both times still very hot, still good. You can still swim. Off peak, prices will be lower. Less people, most importantly. So, best times to visit Montenegro, in my opinion, and opinions from locals, people I've talked to there, other travelers, April to May. Because before that, it's still a little chilly, right? And it goes through the winters. It's a hot climate like Croatia. Croatia and Montenegro, very similar climate. So if you've ever been to Croatia, I've been to Croatia in April, end of April, and it was amazingly hot, beautiful weather, but the sea was cold. I'm talking about probably freezing. So I don't know if you've been into Montenegro in April and May, please comment in this video and let us know. Is the sea cold, like freezing? Because I went to Croatia in ending of April for my birthday, and the water was freezing. I jumped in a couple of times, but it was freezing. But the weather was amazing. It was like 26, 27 degrees, but the water was freezing. Is the water freezing during April and May? Let's say April specifically in Montenegro. Let us know. But I know for sure September, the water's still going to be warm. You can definitely swim, and it's prime time because off peak. Kids are back in school. It's going to be a lot cheaper, and it's going to still be very hot. Don't drive at night. You guys rent a cars. You guys might be expert drivers, blah, blah, blah. Listen, the only time you should drive, and I drove at night, is if I'm going from town to town. Let's say I'm in Kotor. I want to go to Pivot. Pivot is like 20-minute drive, 15-minute drive, if that. Cool. If you want to go for that to Budva, Budva's a little further out. It's about 35, 40-minute drive at night. Cool. Right? I wouldn't even say do that, but that's still cool because that's along the coastline. If you go into the city, the capital, or you going through the mountains, don't do that because it's very dangerous. There's 2 lanes. You're all in the mountain. The roads are literally like this. People are absolutely speeding without regard to any people else. If you're driving, there's literally an asshole behind you going like trying to go 200 miles an hour through roads like this, trying to overtake you at night. So I drove one time at night in the hills. I had to go pick my friend up. Never again. I ain't doing that shit again. And I'm an expert driver. So I'm just saying, you got to be careful. Definitely do not drink and drive. You have to be aware, your wits about you, and be careful. So I would say you could drive within the town, the small towns, town to town, around the coast. That's fine. But do not go in the mountains at night. Do not. Tipping. You do not have to, realistically, you do not have to tip the waiters, because if you look at your bill, it says service charge. They charge you for the service, period, everywhere you go in Montenegro. So you really don't. There's tip jars everywhere. Like an ice cream place, there's tip jars. Why I got to tip you for ice cream? But that's it. I don't have to tip anyone else for ice cream and nowhere else. And gelato ice cream comes from Italy. There's no tip box in Italy, but there's all kinds of tip boxes in Montenegro, right? I don't mind tipping for ice cream, like a two scoop ice cream in a cone. If that's a €1, €2, that's cool. But guess how much a 2 scoop ice cream cone is? €6. I mean, that's probably more. No, that is more expensive than London. You can go to all the chains in London and get a cone with 2 scoops, and it's not going to be €6. So I'm paying for €6 of ice cream, and then you want me to tip. So I can damnably spend €10 on just ice cream. That's crazy. So the prices are not as what you see. Let me know if you're from Montenegro. Please let me know in the comments. Is these prices, one, because it's the coast, right? By the coast, it's more expensive. I definitely know in the capital is a lot cheaper for sure, even June, summer. But again, no one's in the capital hardly. Everyone's going to the coast, right? But in the coast, people in Montenegro, the coast, is the prices spiked just for the summer period, or does it cost €6 for ice cream for the entire year? Please let me know. So again, you do not have to tip. Do not be forced to tip. I tip because, especially if I'm talking to a waiter or someone that's super nice and we just having a flowing conversation, I just tip. But I'm just used to tipping anyway, because I just like to help people out as best as I can. I mean, I'm not rich, but just to help people out as best as I can. Especially if the service is really good, I just tip. I tip. Again, I don't put it in the tip jars. I give it to that person individually. I want that person to put it in their pocket. That's how I tip. I don't, put it in jars, because then they have to split it amongst everybody else. What's the point of that? I want to give it to that specific person. So again, look at your bill. You do not be pressured, especially you guys from America, because you're the ones that started this shit. You don't have to tip. It's included in service charge. They take a tip out your bill anyway. Don't expect good customer service. Don't expect service to be on time. Don't expect customer service to be good specifically. Don't expect service to be quick. So let's say you order something in a restaurant. Don't expect the food to be on time. Don't expect the food to be correct. And just have some leeway, because customer service out there is not pushed to the top. It's not one of the most important things. It's hard as hell out there, and they're just going with the flow. Also, most restaurants, I went to loads of restaurants that they order, no one has written anything down. They just say, oh, you want, okay. Actually, one by the coast, right on the water, he wrote it down. Aside of that, they'll go, oh, you want this? Okay, cool. Then they go in the back and give the order. So let's say you're in a large group or family, a big family, they're probably going to forget a lot of things. You have to always constantly remind them. You have to remind them, hey, where's my food at? Or you have to just make sure you're on top of them, because they could, especially during peak times, busy times, they have to serve different people. So again, don't expect customer service to be great, especially when you're at restaurants, bars. It's just gonna take time. They're polite, great people. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be rude or nothing. It's just, I'm just saying, as far as time and efficiency. So yeah, don't expect great customer service. Don't expect it to be quick or efficient. Do not think Montenegro is a cheap travel destination. You have to remember, during June and August, like a lot of places in Europe, like main visited places like Greece, Spain, Cyprus, and stuff like that, prices are spiked. Turkey, prices are spiked during those summer holiday, peak summer holidays. Obviously, they know people are going to be traveling there regardless. It's going to be hot, and there's going to be families, all kinds of stuff. So prices are peaked. And it's the same thing in Montenegro. Prices are spiked, and they're spiked high. It is not cheap. So think about, it's going to be like similar like eating in London, eating in Amsterdam, in your big cities. You're going to look at dinner per person, 30 to 45 euros. 25 to 35 depending where you are. If you're in Tilvet, which is the fancy part of Montenegro, you're looking at 30 to 45 euros per person depending where you eat, right? So it's not cheap, even higher depending where you eat, to be honest. So I went to Perez for lunch. Beautiful coastal little town, beautiful. Pizza, one drink, cider I think it was, and water, 25 euros. So I'm literally paying for the view, and €5 tip, so 30 euros altogether. I'm just paying for the view. Stunning view. It wasn't so busy as well, but quality food wasn't great. Just wasn't great, period. You're just paying peak prices. I think off-peak prices are a lot more cheaper, a lot more affordable, and you got better experience, and you got to get a better stretch and value for your money. So you have to remember, during these times, hotels are peaked in pricing. Food, restaurants are going to be peaked in pricing. Bars, everything's going to be peaked. Beaches, beach chairs, beaches, peaked in prices. You got to remember, during peak times, prices is going to be pretty much the same as your Greece, as your Spain, as your Portugal. Sorry, not Portugal. I take that back. Portugal prices are actually really good. Not Portugal. Like your Cyprus, Greece, and Turkey, and all that. Do not rent a scooter. I say this because they did drive very chaotic and crazy out there in Montenegro. So especially in the summers, people want to get to where they're going. There's loads of traffic everywhere. It's busy as hell. You're generally going to spend most of your day in traffic if you're trying to get to point A to point B. So getting a scooter will be a best bet, but it's high probabilities you can get in an accident. So if you're new to riding, definitely do the hire scooter, hire-end car instead. I hired a car just to be safer. And if you do hire a scooter, make sure you get travel insurance, because you're probably going to get into an accident. And it's because it's crazy out there. The roads are like this. There's no straight roads. Everything's crazy. And they drive crazy and erratic out there. So be careful. If you do rent a scooter, get travel insurance. And insure your scooter as well. Take heed of these don'ts. Bear that in mind, so you actually know you got a heads up going in this country. So you know, okay, you have a heads up. Well, as far as money-wise, you know you're going to spend. You have to spend a little bit more than you budget, and peak times is going to be very busy. There's going to be a lot of people. Not only the locals go from the country down to the coastal towns. You got the travelers, you got your foreigners. So everyone is pretty much heading towards the coastal parts of Montenegro. So it's going to be very busy. It's going to be very kind of chaotic in a sense, manic. You're going to be sitting in traffic. It's going to be very expensive, but either way, you're going to have an amazing time. You're going to see just a beautiful country with beautiful coastline, beautiful beaches, and just beautiful people. So I hope this video helped. And if it did help, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash that like. I hope this video helped. And if it did, don't forget to support the channel. Hit that like button, god damn it. And also hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. So till next time, peace.